Good evening, I am Shade Uwe, and this is a news update. A second-class chief, Alhaji Umaru Buba Nyala of Pupule Chiefdom in Yoro local government area of Taraba State, and 21 of his subjects were kidnapped in the early hours of Tuesday. A resident of Pupule stated that the traditional ruler and others were abducted by kidnappers who lived in the surrounding mountains of the town. Confirming the event, the police spokesman in Taraba, Abdullahi Usman, said 15 persons were kidnapped, including 2 police officers, and that a combined security team is presently on a manhunt to arrest the perpetrators and rescue the victims. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, says the investigation over the Kaduna accidental military airstrike is ongoing, assuring that culprits will be punished. 85 people died in the accidental airstrike in the Igabi Council area of the state some weeks back, with scores injured. Nigeria's armed forces often rely on airstrikes in their battle against bandit militias in the northwest and northeast of the country, where jihadists have been fighting for more than a decade. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has said that the 2024 budget would be passed on Saturday, December 30th, 2023. He said this as the House resumed plenary on Tuesday, December 19th. This was as he passed a message from the Committee on Appropriations to various committees of the House that they must conclude and submit their report of the budget defense by agencies of government by 8 p.m. today, 19 December 2023. The Speaker said other budget-related activities like compilation, processing, and harmonization will take place in between. Still on the news, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has confirmed the detention of a former Minister of State for Power, Olu Agunloye, days after he was declared wanted. A source in the anti-graft agency told the press that Agunloye has been detained since December 13, 2023. The EFCC had about a week ago declared Agunloye wanted over an alleged $6 billion fraud related to the controversial Mambila hydropower project. Agunloye was a minister under President Olusegun Obasanjo's government from 1999 to 2003. He has been at the center of the controversy about the Mambila project. The Supreme Court on Tuesday, December 19th, reserved judgments in 2 appeals filed by Gbadebo Rhodes-Vivo, the candidate of the Labour Party, and his counterpart in the People's Democratic Party, Azeez Adediran, against the election of Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. The appeals by Rhodes-Vivo and Adediran are against the earlier judgments of the Court of Appeal in Lagos, which affirmed the 2 decisions of the Election Tribunal, which dismissed their petition challenging Sanwo-Olu's victory in the last governorship election. A 5-member panel of the Supreme Court, presided over by Justice John Okoro, told parties that they would be informed when the judgments are ready. The Labour Party governorship aspirant in the upcoming 2024 governorship election in Edo State, Honorable Sergius Ogun, has said he is not desperate to become the governor of the state. Rather, he is desperate to find a solution to the problem being faced by the poor in the state. Honorable Sergius Ogun made this statement at Uromi in Eson North East local government area when addressing senatorial leaders of the Labour Party in the state.
I am not desperate to be the governor of Edo State, but I am desperate to solve the problem of the small people in this state. So I have started this journey and I will take it to the end. I'm running this journey. I'm running this track with God on my side. The credential I have to go to Osadebe Avenue is sincerity, honesty, candor.
We need unity in this area. Unity. If we are united, nobody can break us. There are to say, if it is not me, it cannot be this person. Esa man is an Esa man. So let us all join hands together and protect our people so that at the end of the day, all our prayers will be answered. Then we will have the cause to say, okay, Adesa man is in Osadebe.
I want to make haste to say, the man who really created this kind of crowd in Nigeria made a difference among the governors in this country. Edo State must make this become the actual heartbeat of this country. We don't want to see your wealth. We want to see your leadership acumen and your leadership quality.
The Oyo State Governor, Seyi Makinde, has presented the staff of office to the new zone of Ogbomosho land, Oba Gandhi Olaoye, at Ogbomosho Township Stadium in Ogbomosho. Makinde had approved the selection of Oba Olaoye from Olaoye ruling house on September 2nd, while the kingmakers in the ancient town led by the Areago of Ogbomosho, High Chief Shobalaje Otolorin, installed him on September 8th as the new zone of Ogbomosho land. In his acceptance speech, Oba Olaoye said his service is premised on a clear vision for a prosperous and peaceful Ogbomosho land. Among the dignitaries at the presentation included the Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi Ojaja III, Ulu of Warri Ogiame Atuwashe III, immediate past Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Lekon Balogun, former Minister of Information Lai Mohammed, and a host of other eminent Nigerians. President Bola Tinubu says his administration will always uphold media freedom and respect opinions, whether they are adversarial or complementary to his government. The president made the pledge on Monday in Abuja during a meeting with members of the Newspaper Proprietors Association of Nigeria, NPAN. President Tinubu assured NPAN members that he would consider their request for a review of policies affecting the paper industry, acknowledging concerns about existing regulations hindering local access to newsprint.
Distinguished gentlemen of the publishing and non-publishing members who are present here. I thank all of you for what you've done for this country so far. I'm grateful to many of you. Without you, I would not be standing here as president. We will continue to reinvigorate the economy, re-engineer the economy, retool the economy. I believe that Nigeria should invest in the paper industry to produce what we need, what we can consume there, and what we can export to other countries from Nigeria. Look at that. Ask some of your reporters to weigh the effect of what is going on. We can't afford the stuff that was going on. The other item is important. And since you are now buying money on the black market, you know how much the dollar costs. We can't afford it. Many of us can't afford to import. So we buy newsprint on the street. That makes it harsher for all of us. What you see on the street is concert. We're all dead. But if we don't publish the hard copy, we've all become online. And traditionally, not all titles will die because of our culture.
Now, moving on to other parts of Africa, President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa has strongly condemned the ongoing crisis in Gaza, describing it as a genocidal onslaught and slaughter of the people of Palestine. In a press statement, he drew parallels between the struggles faced by Palestinians and those experienced by South Africans during their own tumultuous history. In response to the dire circumstances, President Ramaphosa called for an immediate ceasefire. He emphasized the urgency of halting what he perceives as a genocidal onslaught, expressing the collective responsibility to prevent further suffering. An explosion from a fire inferno in early hours at a depot in the Kalun district in Guinea's capital, Conakry, has caused 31 dead and 190 badly burnt and injured. There are also fears of a major fuel supply disruption as the country relies on imported refined petroleum products. Guinea's interim military leader is calling for help from Nigeria and other friendly countries to treat the badly burnt to avoid more imminent deaths. And in outside Africa, after 22 months of war with a horrific human cost, the Ukrainian army is struggling to find recruits to battle Russian forces that are once again on the offensive. Some Ukrainians who joined the fighting at the February 2022 start are still in combat and exhausted, while volunteers to replace those killed or wounded are becoming rarer. The commander of the battalion in the 24th Mechanized Brigade opted to cancel an outdoor training session for new recruits because of frost, aiming to avoid injuries to his much-needed troops. Now moving on to entertainment. Legendary Canadian singer Celine Dion, 55, no longer has control over her muscles, according to her older sister Claudette, 75. Last December, the singer canceled her world tour and announced that she has a neurological disorder called stiff person syndrome. Now her older sister suggested that it may be a while before Celine returns to the stage. Celine's family charity foundation, Maman Dion, has been inundated with messages of support for the star. Claudette had previously revealed that despite working with the top researchers in the field, her sister has seen little improvement in her health. She told news reporters that they can't find any medicine that works, but having hopes is really important at this period. Now moving on to sports. Sunderland have appointed former Rangers boss Michael Beale as the new head coach to replace Tony Mowbray, the English Championship club said on Monday. Sunderland sacked Mowbray after 15 months in charge in early December. He led Sunderland to the Championship playoffs in his first season, but the club won only 2 of the last 9 league matches while he was in charge. Rangers parted ways with Beale after results this season fell short of expectations. The 43-year-old former Charlton Athletic player was also part of the coaching setup at Chelsea and Liverpool academies. And that's the news update. For more stories, please follow us on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and do subscribe to our YouTube channel on Plus TV Africa and Plus TV Africa Lifestyle. You can also view us from LimeMix on limemix.tv and Glow TV apps anywhere in the world. I am Shade Uwe. Many thanks for watching.
Menstrual cycle is a way the body of a woman releases tissues that is no longer needed in the body. Every month, the body of a woman prepares for pregnancy. The lining of the uterus gets thicker as preparation for nurturing the fertilized egg. There are 4 phases of the menstrual cycle, which is menstruation, the follicular phase, ovulation, and the luteal phase. Common menstrual problems include heavy or painful periods and premenstrual syndrome, PMS. In an interview with the family physician, Dr. Nwachukwu Chukwuemeka, he gives a deeper explanation of the menstrual cycle.
Menstrual cycle is defined as a time clock within a female or a woman of reproductive age, especially from puberty, where there is a production of the eggs in your ovaries, and then the preparation of the womb to receive this egg, hoping that it will be fertilized, and then the discharge of this egg when it is not fertilized, or the the growing of this fertilized egg into a baby. Okay, so now that cycle takes usually a month, and this cycle usually a month averagely, so it seems to take 28 days. However, there are variances, so we give a normal phase of plus or minus 7 days, meaning that it could span from 21 days to 35 days. So that's why it varies for women. So the menstrual cycle is the period from the release or the preparation of the eggs in the ovaries to the release of these ovaries down to the womb, and then it is discharged, and you all see it as blood.
Dr. Chukwuemeka explains why some women go through pains before or during the cycle, which makes them use hot water bottle to soothe it before they will be relieved for some time.
Painful menstruation, which can be described as dysmenorrhea, is possible because, first, during the movement of the eggs, there are lots of hormonal activities, and it has seen first to be either due to the tubes, the contractions of the tubes, especially when you're talking about before the period, especially in ovulation. So there's usually ovulation pain, which is milder than the menstrual pain itself. So the contraction of the fallopian tubes is a milking movement, milking the eggs through the tubes into the ovary. Okay, and then when it gets into the ovary, it stays for approximately 24 hours and then begins to degenerate. Before then, the womb is preparing a space, a bed for this egg to be implanted if it's fertilized. But while it's doing that, it's not implanted. And so that brings me to the stages of the menstrual cycle. So there is the proliferative stage, which is the stage at which there's production of many things. And then there's a secretory phase, which is the phase where the egg is expecting to, to be fertilized, and then also expecting to either become a baby or it is discarded. All right. So when that happens and this egg is not fertilized, the uterus begins to contract in order to expel it. That contraction is usually painful. Imagine your fist very tight. Okay, especially for a woman who hasn't given birth before. That's how tight her uterus is. Very small and tight, compact. Now, within that fist is a slit, a tiny slit that allows for this egg. Now, when this fist is going to contract on itself, the pain will be heavy compared to a woman who has given birth before. So there's a lot of space, and contractions, is a little milder. So that's why the painful menstruation gets better with childbirth. Okay, however, that is the typical case. There are atypical cases where the painful feeling increases even with age and childbirth. All right, but majority of the times it gets better in childbirth. So whether the use of the hot bottled waters or the use of drugs, the idea is that you're trying to reduce the level of tension this uterus go through to milk out all the blood, all the mucous layers that it has produced.
Doctors advise women to keep the calendar dates to help monitor their menstrual period to ensure balance. However, they are advised to see their physicians when there is an imbalance in the calculation of their menstrual cycle.
For imbalances in times of menstrual flow for many women, it's in the normal context. I said that the normal is 28 days plus or minus 7. Now, what that means is that you have a range from 21 days to 35 days. But ideally, there shouldn't be an excessive gap between the days. So when someone says, I have a 28-day cycle, what that means is it shouldn't exceed some days from that 28 days. When they cannot calculate it, there is an underlying pathology. There's a problem. There are few problems that have been identified or itemized. One of them is when people have pelvic inflammatory disease, what you call the urinary tract infection or the toilet infection. What happens is that those infections they alter the flow between 1 month and the next month. So when women are not able to calculate, they may need to see their physician to identify what exactly is causing the the disparity, the long-term disparity. But if there are a few days, then you shouldn't say you don't know. If they're probably 2 or 3 days apart, then it's still within the range. Okay, but when they are like 1 week apart, 5, 7 days apart, then there's an underlying condition. Or when it comes too early, there's an underlying condition.
Overaged pain in some women during the menstrual cycle needs to be investigated, and if there is no problem, then it could be a change in their system.
Many women feel unbearable menstrual pain at their older ages, which is very atypical from the normal. So the response to such is that they need to be investigated properly. They need to. It's very atypical, and if they're investigated and there is no reason, then they may be let low like that, or have some hormonal replacements done for them. But if they're investigated, there are certain things that can be the cause. One of them is, like I said, could be a fibroid. Another could be what we call the endometriosis. Okay, endometriosis is the presence of tissues, uterine tissues, in another part of the stomach. So whenever the stomach is beginning to experience that firing impulse, that tissue, wherever it is, it could be in the womb, it could be in the stomach generally, it could be on the broad ligament, that tissue also fires, and then they feel the peppery sensation at that point. Okay, it could even still be a PID, pelvic inflammatory disease. Now, this condition happening at an older age is very possible, but must be investigated and properly treated. However, if investigated and nothing is found, then it can be classified as an atypical situation. And more often than not, hormonal play.
Medication during the menstrual cycle must be recommended.
First of all, it's not very ideal to openly, prescribe, and then, because what you do is that you validate certain things in the public. People should really be investigated. People should see their doctors, and then he knows what. But yeah, the use of Felvine has been made public already. It could be right and could be acceptable. However, it comes with a side effect, which is intensifying stomach pain in ulcer patients. So it simply means that an ulcer patient cannot use Felvine, or it can cause ulcer because it's an NSAID, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug, which means that it can potentiate the possibility for an ulcer. That also means that if a patient has ulcer, it's contraindicated. If a patient can have ulcer, it's contraindicated as well. Now, there are many analgesics that are available, simple analgesics ranging from paracetamol. All right. The problem is that many times we want the very hard one, ranging from paracetamols to some of the codeines, sometimes depending on how heavy the pain is. More importantly is the use of relaxants. So they are smooth muscle relaxants, some of which we call hyoscine, that we popularly know as Buscopan. These can be used as well to relax it. But beyond that, there are many other treatment plans for painful menstruation. So these simple things can be used as well.
Statistically, painful menstruation can be experienced in about 45% to 70% of women. From puberty to before conception, it can be seen in about 60% of women in that age group. Then, as they get older, it reduces. In the world population, menstrual pain is experienced in over 5,000 women to about 1.5 million in different locations. It is more prevalent in Africans than the Caucasians.
Imagine that you're going to live for 100 years. The way you treat your body right now, would your liver and your kidney take you that far? Now, you must understand that the body is a biologic organism or a biologic machine, just like your generator and your machines, your car. How do you treat them? You can replace the parts, you take them for regular servicing. There is an input talking about your fuel, and there is an output talking about your combustion, your gas. That same way, the body thrives on an input, maintenance, and output system. The body, like every other biological machine, takes in organic matter because that's its source, comes from the earth, and then uses it for the production of many chemicals, hormones, and synthesis of cells and tissues, and then excretes it organic manure, and it gets back to the soil. How does this happen to maintain your health? You must take in organic-based meal. And that's why the closer your meal is to the earth, the better for you. The closer it is from the earth to you, the better such meals. When many foods stay a long distance before getting to you, it's not as good as when it just gets from ground to you. All right? Very importantly, that you reduce the intake of chemicals. You can't keep taking chemicals. The body doesn't understand it. It's not able to process it. And then for every time the body tries to process these chemicals, it experiences what we call breakdown, especially your excretory organs like your kidney and liver. This has been the cause of many liver damage and kidney damages. So when you take a lot of chemicals, one of them is pure chemicals, such as alcohol, such as spirits, such as tobacco, many of them cigarettes. When you take in these things, the body tries its best to absorb the exogenous substance and excrete them. And of course, you have free radicals running through your system. If you're not able to break them down, your tissues die slowly. All right. Other things are things like even polyprocessed meals. For example, roasted meat, what you call suya. That suya is not very fantastic for your health, especially for your liver. It's not so good. When you take in a lot of carbonated drinks, you further cause damage to your system. And more importantly is that you may not notice them between the ages of 0 to 35, 40. The moment you begin to get off that peak period where your energy, where your body is supposed to start going uphill, you will notice that you cannot go longer than normal and then you begin to break down. All right. Very important that you take fruits, lots of fruits. And it's important that you're particular about your source of fruits. Many of the fruits nowadays are being synthesized. Many of them are done in the laboratories. Many of them have been changed, mutated. And so when I was little, I know that pineapples that I take used to be very bitter when it's green. Nowadays, the greener it is, the sweeter it is. So these cannot be very useful for the body. So the body cannot use it. The long and short of what I'm trying to say is that your body must use what it needs, not what it doesn't need. When you're taking drugs, if you can prevent the recurrent intakes of drugs, you need to do. Many of you who think that antibiotics is vitamin C, it's not. They're not the same. Take drugs when necessary. And in fact, it must be prescribed. You just go off the counter and take what you like and how you like it, what quantity. You need to take prescribed drugs. Many of us who do herbal drinks and concussions and all kinds of things, you further disintegrate your body system. You make your body confused because the dosages are not clear. One very important source that's given to us by nature is water. A high level of alkaline water is very good for you. A high level of sunlight. Don't be afraid of sunlight. For many of you who go from air conditioners to air conditioners to air conditioners, you need the sunlight to help you provide vitamin D, which carries calcium, makes it absorbed in the bones, and prevents things like osteoporosis, low back pain, arthritis. These are natural ways of preventing illnesses. So you're managing your health that way. You're taking a lot of water, you prevent urinary tract infection, you prevent dehydration, you prevent constipation, you take a lot of fibers from fruits, you prevent constipation, you improve your microorganisms in your system, then you will not fall sick easily. And of course, you do a lot of fruits, including vegetables that contains a lot of carotenes, vitamins, B, B12, B6, A vitamins. Your eyes are very, very protected. And of course, you want to care for your prostate. Lastly, there are age-related diseases. For every age, you want to find out what are the diseases in that age and you begin to treat them. For an example, a man who is clocking 45 years and above needs to check his prostate. Don't be surprised. Oh, he died of prostate cancer. And you're like, no, check your prostates once you hit 45. For a lady, you cross reproductive age, you want to start checking for cervical cancer. Pap smear recurrently, yearly, will not do you bad. Of course, your BP should not be, you should know your BP of your last 1 week. Your blood sugar, you should know the last 1 month blood sugar. Don't be in a new, especially when you clock the age of 40. By then, your health is beginning to take an uphill task. Manage your health so that you can live as much as 100.
At the moment, the nation's economy is not smiling on anyone, with inflation standing at 28.20%. In Nigeria, unemployment has proved a difficult statistic to interpret. Nigeria's unemployment rate stood at 33.3% in the fourth quarter of 2020. However, the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, recently reported unemployment rates of 5.3% in the fourth quarter of 2022 and 4.1% in the first quarter of this year, based on the new Nigeria Labour Force Survey, NLFS. Now is the right time to start a side business or job, because it never hurts to have multiple income streams, especially when you are building a business. Having a side job or two can be an excellent way to keep money coming in, easing your anxiety and lessening some financial burdens. Today on the show, I will bring you insight from the chat I had with a serial entrepreneur and the founder of the Joint Professional Training and Support International Limited, JPTS. Welcome to Business Insight on Plus TV Africa. I am Justin Akadonye. Welcome back. Now, first off, real estate developers and brokers have been urged to do their due diligence before buying properties in order to safeguard themselves and their client from falling prey from unscrupulous individuals. This advice was given by the billionaire realtor group on the sidelines of the Rexlington Awards night. Details in this report. As with tradition for year-ends, it is not unusual for organizations to celebrate and award people for outstanding performances. The atmosphere is relaxed and a time to talk about dominating the future.
Very important for us to emphasize that it's going to be a panel session where we talk more about the journey of becoming a sales superstar.
It begins with a panel session which focuses on the journey to becoming a sales superstar and the role the organizers have played. Guest speaker, Surveyor General Lagos State, Adesina Ayokunu, speaks on collaborating with the government for sustainable housing development.
Special mention must be made of the Lagos State Real Estate Regulatory Authority, that is called NASRERA, which was established to eliminate the activities of impostors, fraudsters, and supposed accredited real estate agents who adopt sharp practices in their operations.
You know, for you that do business is easy. When the pastor shuts down the church for 3 months because there's nobody to pay the rent, and he's telling you that God will do your own, hope you know you don't have faith. There'll be no faith in it at all. But down the line, and this is the power of consistently applying yourself and the principles that are shown. Down the line, today is a different story. Today we have 225 staff.
For the organizers, the real estate landscape is dynamic, ever evolving, and this year was a time to navigate challenges while emerging stronger and more resilient. They say the theme dominates the future, encapsulates the drive throughout the year, and the determination to not just adapt to change but to shape it. Issues concerning the real estate sector take center stage.
We celebrate all our realtors and developers, and we also bring in keynote speaker to make them know that they can do more than what they are doing at the moment, and they can become better in what they do. We make sure that every property that we sell out there, we make sure that we do our due diligence on them, so that when you buy property, you buy the right property. It's not that you buy property today and in tomorrow you'll be having issues with what you buy.
I always say this, that the best way for you to own property is when you buy through an off-plan process. There's something we call off-plan houses, with as low as maybe 5 million, 3 million, depending on the initial deposit the development company is asking for. You can actually own a home. So, and you can then key into the payment spread system that they have.
What we would like government to do to assist us is the area of regularization of land, and put the right policy in place to make it seamless for people in terms of running of doing search on documentation, and when the client wants to buy real estate properties, to make it more easier for them to run search.
At the end of the day, excellence was rewarded and lives transformed. Welcome back now. My guest, Christopher Irene Imomolen, is the Ado of Abaji, an educationist, a university professor, a serial entrepreneur, a business mogul, and a Nigerian politician. He is the founder of the Joint Professional Training and Support International Limited, JPTS, and Unique Foundation, a non-profit, non-governmental organization. I recently had a chat with him on coping with inflation as Nigerians have taken to gigs and entrepreneurship. Take a look.
Yes, it's a major way to go. It is a major way to go. Like we always say, government still have their role to play. Creating an enabling environment. Yes, it's not just about loan. Creating an enabling environment. Once an enabling environment is created, people can easily implement their thoughts. Entrepreneurship, it's about having an idea to solve a problem and generate wealth through solving problems, providing services for people. So I want the youth to begin to look at entrepreneurship not just as wanting to be their own boss alone, because we need to. I've seen a lot of young people who are more entitled driven than profit driven. You know, when I started my company, it took me so much time before I could even indicate that I was the CEO of the company, because I felt that I was too young and people might not believe that I do such a thing. So when I talk to people, I rather tell them, oh, I'm a staff, even in my own company. So they believe me more. Oh, yes, staff. Okay. It means that there's a big boss somewhere. I was the boss. So you see young people of 21 already put a CEO. So it's for them and they're not making any. So to them, it's so entrepreneurs should be looking at profit. They should be more profit oriented than just the time will come you become the CEO of your company. So you want to solve a problem, and we are in a country that has numerous problems. So it's actually an opportunity for Nigerian youth to be more entrepreneurial now. There are problems with power, there are problems with just thinking of the easiest way to do what we currently do is creating opportunity for yourself and now making sure that what you do is being patronized by so many people. The place of plenty. So we talk about Facebook, we talk about this. It's just about having much subscriber. And one of the good things that happened to us in this generation is the advent of social media. Social media has now made it very easy. You want to talk about musicians like Onyeka Onwenu, you begin to wonder how were those people able to market their products in those days when there was no social media. Now you talk about Rema, you talk about Wizkid. I don't think any of us have their CD, but everybody's listening to their song. So you can see even if they release a song today, how was Ebenezer Obey? How were they able to do it those days? How were Okosun? How were they able to do it those days? But now somebody will release a song in 1 minute and it's everywhere. So the technology, the AI technology, robotics and the rest of them is really making entrepreneurship easy. It's a necessary development. You know why? Entrepreneurs of today must know that things are hard. One, it's either you increase salary very well so that those staffs you have are well paid, or you give them a way to enable them also have side gigs. You must. If you don't do that, believe me, you have staff stealing from what they are doing. One of the major reasons why there is high level of theft, compromise, disloyalty at workplace today is because of economic hardship. People are trying to survive. So they are tempted. Even the Bible says that I will not allow a saint to go through trials too long so that he will not put his hand in iniquity. You can see. So if you have a saint even in your company today and there's any 100,000, 150,000, 40,000, whatever, and it's not even enough to pay transport, and you don't give him that room and tell him, okay, don't worry, from henceforth I want you guys to close by 4. Don't come on Saturday and Sunday so that you can have time to do whatever I want to do. Deliberately create it for them. If you don't do that, they will start picking from your organization. So it's a necessary development that must be encouraged by even bosses now. Yes, you must encourage them. We now see people who now work remotely. Yes, if you know that some of your staff don't necessarily need to come to the office, you can still pay them. Allow them. See, things are changing now. You need to change with the change. If you don't, your business will die. And so for staff also, it's also a good time for them to. There's a lot of jobs out there. Locate all those websites where you can work remotely. Get those skills needed. A lot of companies, there are websites like Fiverr, Fiverr, a lot of them that you can pick up a tax, get paid in dollars. There's so many things. So get to learn those skills. Let me tell you something deep. Many entrepreneurs you see do well today actually stumbled into what opened a way for them. They were not initially, they never knew. I'm telling you, many stumbled and they got, a lot of them are still doing that same thing. When they find it difficult to even do something else, when they dabble into some other business, they run into loss. Some might be lucky. That tells you that even those who are entrepreneurs who are making it also could have that notion until something started working. If you don't start it, you will not know if it will work. So those who have the opinion that I don't think I am, they are wrong. The reason is because they have not. They might fail in 1 or 2 or 3 things. They should keep doing it. Thomas Edison did, as he had over 1,000 experiments to discover the light bulb, said it was the 1,001. At 900, he would have said, this is not my calling, and he give up. Every failed experiment leads is a step towards success. They need to know that. They need to change that mindset. Yes, I have tried it before, it didn't work. That doesn't mean that I am not. Yes, see, let me tell you, what is even entrepreneurship? Even that boss you think is a boss, he's working for somebody. Even, for example, talk about a TV station, even the boss is working for, we all need to work for someone at a time, even in our business that we call ourselves a boss. So that is it. So even the position you sit and say you're correct salary, you're even a boss in that place. You don't know. You are serving a cause. So we can all do something. We need to change that mindset. Whoever have that mindset, you need to change it. What you need to do is keep engaging yourself in different things. No matter how much you fail, keep trying. One day you get it done. And some people said it's difficult for them to learn that skills. It's also a wrong notion. See, anything you need to learn that will bring success your way, you just have to learn it. Do you know there was a time opening a Facebook account was very complicated? To open a Google was complicated to many people, but you need to deliberately look at it, and suddenly it becomes easy for you. So let us have an open mind. There's nothing too complicated. Every complicated system has a unit. Once you understand the unit, you put the unit together, you know the system. So we just need to know it.
Momolen also shared on convertible skill set and what role capacity building plays in all of this, as well as financing. We'll bring you details of that after this break. Stay with us.
It is engagement we need to have.
Those who suffer miscarriages are never taken into account.
Members of the National Assembly are also influence peddlers.
You are sitting on Nigerians' money.
From the barbing, I pay my rent. From the barbing, I send my children to school.
A consultative engagement.
No any tangible notification before they ban us.
It's one thing for people to be at your back and the heat of the moment, and another thing for them to still be with you when push comes to shove.
There's a thin line between wanting to do what you are currently doing. For example, we see a lot of people who work. I have staff, for example, someone in my ear listening. So since our boss said we should go and work, then they want to go and do the same thing they are doing here to sabotage what they are doing here. That's not what we mean. Even if you are going to do something, it must not be something that will defy the contract you have with what you are. For example, you might be working in a media person and you're a public speaker. That doesn't stop you from speaking. And they can see there's a, but it's not like, oh, you want to, so that must be well defined. Then number two, the role of capacity development is key. And how can we develop our capacity? It's an inherent talent we have, developing it. Some people even say that there's no talent. You must brush up that which you have. You know, when talent don't work hard works win. You get someone who work hard can be more successful than someone who is talented and never worked hard. True. So working hard to build that talent is what matters. But the first is to realize your talent. There's many people who don't even know what they have. I've met a lot of young people out there. I ask them, what is your gift? What area? Where is your strength? Say they don't know. Many, 90% of the youth don't even know. Everybody's just doing what everybody's doing. I want to do TikTok because Mr. B is doing it. Some people it work for them like that. But first, you need to know what you have. I got to know that I had the strength in marketing because I was serving as a fellowship leader in my university days. I was public secretary. And when I got that role, I said, wow, I can market, I can say anything. So I had to build that strength. I haven't discovered that. You discover your strength through volunteering, through active. Just keep doing things. Anywhere you find yourself, try to take a lead. When you do that, you know where you are weak and where you are strong. You cannot discover yourself when you are not participating in a thing. And it's so sad that so many youth will not want to do anything except they are paid. There's a time you must sacrifice. There's a time you get the reward. You must know those things. So when you're able to know, you might have multiple talents in speaking, you might have talent, and sometimes you might not even have talent. Necessity can even make you develop that skills. Yes, we see people go to public speaking schools. Nothing is wrong from you having a coach. You want to become like a pastor, like this pastor, enroll under that coach. It's a pity that we live in a country where pastors now become coach, even business coach. Pastors are spiritual leaders. They are not lawyers. They cannot advise you on legal cases. Pastors cannot advise you on businesses, except they have business or we have some pastors. But they are business coaches. In foreign countries, you have people who pay so much to have a coach. When you have a coach, the coach teaches you the rope, so you don't make so much mistakes to succeed. You get? So you can also enroll to have a coach. Look at somebody that have made it. Sincerely serve that person. Take that. I'm not talking about a mentor. A mentor is not from a coach. A mentor is somebody you look on to, but may not have time to teach you. But a coach is somebody who will tell you this, and you must be ready to learn. There are many daily needs products that people are now Amazon affiliate marketers. People are making so much money from affiliate marketing. You get, it's a big one. Number two is becoming a travel consultant. We now have a lot of Nigerians who want to travel to study abroad, who travel to Canada. Yes, traveling consultant means it doesn't mean that you are the one presenting the visa. They are legal travel consultants who give advice and make money from getting admissions from students abroad is huge because many youth want to Japan. So it's a big one also. Affiliate is one, travel consultant in another, telecommunication. We have a lot of businesses in telecommunication industries. You see a lot of people who do POS. Recently, I sent 100 POS to someone in Zafran. And the guy I said, wow. I said, and I sent 100 POS through a particular bank. I said, give it to them. Each persons of these women were making about 3,000, 4,000 per day. Imagine if they are even remitting to him, maybe half of it. Imagine what you're making times 100 times. Like, it's even making more money. So there are little businesses out there that are needed on a daily basis. We talk about exportation. We have Nigerians in London, in UK, in US that needs our food. You can also study the business of exportation. We have solid minerals. We are now getting more alert with the gold that we have in Zamfara. Golds are in Abuja. Golds are in Osun. We have Columbite. Why can't you also just pick your bag and say, I'm going to a location and let me see what happens, get my license from, get a land use and get license, make it, and start doing. There are many Chinese that are looking for this opportunity. We have the food businesses, the farm to the market. It's not being regulated. You see, a yam is being sold in Benue for 200 naira. That same yam get to Port Harcourt or any other city and it's being sold at 1,500. How can't you go inside the bush? See, there's a problem in Yoruba that says that, oh, wait, it means that the money you make from what's it called? Physics does not smell. So you see people still want to wear this tie. There's so much money. Talk about real estate. You can start owning your land at cheap price. Go to local owners and say, give me this land. I'll pay you back when I sell it. and advertise. People want to buy plot because people believe that if we are in a country where people believe in inheritance, I must buy land, not because they don't have something. People, the other day I was talking to people and I said, have you guys made it? They said we have not made it. I said, what do you have that makes you feel that at least you've achieved? One of the things they mention is land. People feel that once they have a landed property, it's an achievement. So since people, so why can't? So there's numerous things that one can do. Restaurant business is key. You know, like you say, online sales, online of food. People, we have Omalata, who supplies food here and there. There are so many business. Create schools is good business. You can start creating your house. People are doing it now. Like you have a flat and you have just one room you are using. There's nothing wrong. You can use 2 rooms, buy chairs, get just register a business name, go to Ministry of Education, just notify them. It's legal already. And you can start having 6-10 children there. There's nothing too small to start with. When you start, you understand it better. From there, you move to the next level. There are businesses that can never afford up. Schooling, people must go to school. People must eat every day. You see, these two business, health also, and health is well too regulated. So there are so many things. I will not advise anybody to go into car sales business now because many persons who have bought cars. Cars have now so expensive. People are now, nobody's even selling their car. They repair their local car. Upgrade is what they are doing now. So there are so many things that can be done. Once you discover your talent, you can market your talent, monetize your talent, and stop value your talent too. If you know that you're a musician, you don't need to start singing anyhow everywhere. Don't make it cheap. Let people, before people hear you sing, scarcity brings value. When something is not scarce, there's no value. So when you have this talent, make it scarce. Don't make it cheap. Yes, so those are part of the ways to monetize what you have. I'm going to talk as a local man here. I'm not going to say things that are very theoretical that is not realistic. Yes, we see people go for banks, they get loan, using loan app. I don't really advise anybody to start a business with such finances. For me, my own personal principle, truth be said, I had never collected loan to run my business. Never in my life. But I believe that, well, it could get to a level where I need loan just to improve. But to start, well, it might work for people. But the best form of capital is reputation. When you have reputation as a person, when people trust you, people will be ready to deliver to you and allow you to pay later. I'm telling you. There are many people doing business because capital money is what you need to buy something from somebody. I'm telling you that people that can. Let me give an example. Do you know that this unemployment we are talking about does not really affect people from the East? They don't understand what's called unemployment because they have a system that works there, which is called what's called apprenticeship system. Except those that go to school that's waiting. But the local system in the East, the Igbo people, they serve them. So I don't know if you go to them and talk about unemployment, they don't understand unemployment. Their unemployment is that they don't have an uncle that will take them to serve them for 10 years and sell to them. That's the system. Except those that have gone to school that are now waiting for. But I'm talking about the grassroots. So, and that's what we trust. So somebody met me and said, I want to start selling pure water. Please give me 500 naira. I said, work with that woman. Tell that woman, give me one packet. I will come back with your money. If people can trust you, they will deliver their product to your hands. What I mean by the Igbos, many Igbos who are so rich today got the trust of Chinese people those days. And they were able to send them content. Some of them did not have 1 naira. Even the flight money to travel to China, they didn't have. I can tell you stories of many billionaires today. They started their business with that. They didn't have money. And before you can earn that trust, you must be able to speak confident to the person who is going to deliver that to you, to make you know that you are somebody that can multiply. All of us who are doing it, we need people to trust. The biggest challenge at a particular level of business is trust. When you find people you can trust, you will deliver that wealth to them. Yes, that is very key. So once you can develop trust by itself is the currency for exchange in business. So look at yourself, because we don't become great by who we know. It is by what people know us of. It is not who we know, it is who knows you, what they know you to be. And a lot of people know billionaire, yet they are not billionaire. We used to, it's who you know. No, it's not who you know, it is who knows you. And who knows you means what do they know of you? So that is very key, that is the most important thing. It is in that way family members can even now believe in your dream. That is a family member can say, oh, because the best form of capital supporting is when you go to people that knows you before. I want to do this. If they know you as a, they will give you something. There was time I wanted to employ a driver. I said, go and bring a Galanto. He says, sir, nobody can guarantee me. Nobody. So and you want us to employ you? Say, I've done so much, it's bad. Nobody wants to stand for me. Then you cannot employ you. So when first is to capital, you need is self-trust. Work on yourself. If you are someone that are not be too straightforward to people before, if you are trying to change your attitude, if you want to go to business, believe me, you cannot make it far if you are not a straightforward person. Instead, you want to go into a business that is not straightforward. But if you want to go into genuine business to make it and have the trust of your customer to do business with you, you must work on your attitude. Be a good person. Let people know you for what you are. Be trustworthy. Let your word be your word. Then after that, family member donation is key. I don't want you to go into a business where you take loan, especially in this time where come on me today and you stress you out, you cannot pay back, you'll be frustrated. But when family member supports you and it's not loan, okay. Because somebody said, sir, I need 500,000, I gave the person 100,000, and the person was angry. I said, why? If you have 5 people like me, give you 500, you don't need to loan 500,000. True. So why are you angry? I've given you 500,000. So talk to other 4 people that can trust you. Then you will face that business without looking at, I need to pay back every week. Because sometimes you may need up to 6 months gestation period before you start making profit. And imagine you have collected loan and you need to start paying back that same month. It will even kill the business. So the first thing I would advise is self-trust. You need to develop that. The secondly, family member. Once you develop that self-trust, you will see money come. People are ready, and you must have confidence to defend whatever idea you have. Yes, you must have confidence. You must now start looking at different form of partnership too. In Africa, we hate collaboration. We rather rival with ourselves than collaborate. Yes, be ready. Don't forget about people using you. Some people have ideas. I've seen people who have ideas. They write proposal and they say, I don't want to share my idea. You will steal my idea. See, there's no new idea. That idea, if I Google it, somebody else has done the idea. Be open. If you are starting an idea and someone wants to invest into your business, be open. Don't be greedy. Even if they say, I will get 30%, I will get 70%, just beg. It's better bringing money. Don't worry. There are ways you write proposal that will not show that you are greedy. Give that proposal to people. Let them fund it and run it. But first, like I said, trust is the biggest form of policy.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for
what we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
Now 500 naira they collect them. If you no talk, then go beat you. Now 2,500 they pay.
For me, I wanted to change that culture. I didn't believe that until you see a white man or you see a foreigner in the kitchen before you can believe that, you know, good food is going to come out of that kitchen.
You can leverage on each other's spaces and, you know, sell. We believe in Nigeria, right? We believe that Nigeria can get better. We, the youth, are the ones that can make it better.
And my products are proudly made in Nigeria.
Made in Nigeria, showing every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. and repeats on Saturday at 8:30 a.m.
Hi, from Berlin, Germany. There seems to be a conversation going on around within young people. And there's an entire group that think young people need to review bride price payment. What are the gender roles for women in a family unit? What does religion say? How should society respond to these conversations, especially as it concerns women? You have to listen to our debaters and hear what they have to say, the for and the against.
Hello there from Berlin, Germany. My name is Mercy Abba. Welcome to today's episode of Matasada Imani. We will be talking about gender roles as it affects young people in Nigeria. What does it mean to be female in Nigeria? In 2015, if I recall, women in Nigeria used the hashtag on Twitter to share their experiences of everyday gender discrimination. Across the world, women juggle work with family and care for responsibilities, and Nigeria is no exception. On today's episode, I have guests in the studio. I am not physically present with them there because I got in close proximity with someone who contacted positive to COVID. Even though I tested negative, I am staying away for the safety of everyone there. I'd like to introduce my guests. I'll start with Pius Ibrahim Onoja, who is a PhD student in Germany. Hello, Pius.
Hello.
Pleased to see you.
Same here.
And there's Kola Akintola. He's also an MBA student in Berlin. Hello, Kola.
Hi, Mercy.
Thank you for coming. I have Abubakar Bello Ismail. He is a Nigerian student as well in Germany.
Hi, Mercy.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Hi. And we have Victoria Esen. She's also an MBA student in Berlin.
Hi, Mercy.
Before we introduce our colleagues, we're going to start with the conversation with our guests in the studio. Let's talk about patriarchy. This is an issue that concerns women, but more often than not, it comes off as though it's a conversation that sees the other gender being on the defensive. I am excited that we have more men in the studio to talk about this. Perhaps I'll start with Kola. Why is it, can you just, in your own assertion, explain what it means to be female in Nigeria? I know you're a man, but I'd like to hear from you.
Yeah, thank you, Mercy. Based on my experience back in Nigeria, to be precise, I was living in the southwest part of Nigeria, Lagos and Ibadan. So to be a female in Nigeria, though the role is evolving, traditionally females are known to be having a supporting role in the society in Nigeria. So like husband and wife, so you are meant to support your husband. The husband is the head of the house. But due to westernization and how the influence of social media, we started seeing what is coming, because Nigeria, we are largely being influenced by what is going on in America. So we started shifting the roles. So women are taking their place in the society, in the corporate world. We started seeing women